The Order of the Crimson Cross, the Neptune Club pulsed like a fever dream, its neon veins slicing through the Hamptons' night. The air hummed with champagne and ambition, a playground for the elite. I leaned against the bar, Luigi Russo, a butcher from Brooklyn's bloody backrooms. But tonight I was someone else, a business tycoon, spinning tales of corporate empires to mask the grease under my nails. My name carried no weight here, but my lies did, each one a rung up a ladder I didn't belong on. Across the room, Laurie caught my eye, her brown hair cascading like a dark tide, her silk dress clinging like a second skin. A crimson cross pendant, etched with a sword, glinted at her throat, catching the light like a whispered curse. "You're not like the others," she said, sidling up, her voice low, cutting through the din. "Tell me, Luigi, what's your game?" I grinned, bourbon loosening my tongue. "I buy companies, build 'em up, sell 'em to bigger fish. Penthouse life, private jets, the works." The lie flowed easily, a ticket to her world. Her smile was sharp predatory. "Ambition suits you," she murmured, her eyes burning with an ancient fire. The club's opulence felt wrong, a stage for something unholy. Shadows flickered in the corners, defying the light, as if the walls breathed. She led me outside, her Mercedes radiant under the stars. As we slid in, she turned on the radio, and "Sympathy for the Devil" by the Rolling Stones slithered through the speakers, its rhythm a heartbeat in the dark. I raised an eyebrow, leaning back. "You said your family's devout, Laurie, all about God and church. Yet you're blasting Sympathy for the Devil?" Her laugh was silken steel, her fingers drumming the wheel. "The Stones sing truth in shadows, Luigi. My family's faith doesn't flinch at a little rhythm. We know sin from art, and we embrace both." Her words were clever, disarming, but her eyes held a glint, ancient, unyielding, that made my skin prickle. "You'll see," she added, her voice dropping. "Our faith is unique." The night pressed against the windows, oppressive with foreboding, the pendant sword pulsing faintly, as if it saw my lies. The stars dimmed, and I swore they whispered, waiting for my deception to unravel. Laurie's smile never wavered, but her words lingered like a warning, pulling me deeper into a game I didn't understand. Laurie's Hamptons mansion loomed like a crypt, its spires clawing at a moonless sky. Marble floors echoed under my steps, tapestries of nights bled crimson, and the air was thick with incense and menace. Above the fireplace hung Durandal, a sword etched with a crimson cross, its blade humming with a life of its own. Laurie called it a family heirloom, her voice proud, but its presence was oppressive, the walls watching with silent judgment. "It's been with us since the Crusades," she said, her fingers hovering near its hilt. "It chooses who's worthy." Her eyes lingered on my wrist, my birthmark, a faint crescent, sparking a flicker of interest she didn't explain. Our dates became a ritual of deception. Laurie clutched rosary beads, her prayers fervent, yet she spoke of lovers, men and women, with casual defiance that jarred her piety. "We're above common rules," she'd say, her eyes radiant with aristocratic certainty. I piled lies upon lies, my wealth, my status, each one tightening a noose I couldn't see. Her parents, cold and interrogating, probed my faith at lavish dinners. "Do you attend Mass, Luigi?" her father asked, his voice a blade. "Every Sunday," I lied, my smile tight, but the mansion's shadows flickered as if they knew. One night, alone in a guest room, I touched Durandal. Reality shattered. I stood on a Crusader battlefield, Sir Cedric before me, his flaming sword cutting through writhing gloom. His armor shone with unholy wealth, his eyes burned with pride, and a voice, ancient, vast, whispered of power beyond mortal grasp. The sky bled crimson, stars twisting into voids, a cosmic menace pulling me under. I woke, gasping, Durandal's blade glinting as if it saw my sins. I confided in Vito over beers in a Brooklyn dive bar, where the jukebox played Sinatra and the air smelled of regret. Vito, scars crisscrossing his knuckles, was a mob guy with a heart sharper than his switchblade. "Luigi, you're in deep," he growled, slamming his glass down. "This ain't just rich nuts. You're messing with something old, something bad." I spilled it all, the sword, the visions, Laurie's family. "She's got me hooked, Vito," I said, my voice cracking. "Her family's crazy, talking about some knight named Cedric." Vito leaned close, his breath sour. "You need out, brother. These people sound like they don't bleed normal. I got your back, but this feels like a grave you don't climb out of. Sister Agnes found me at a local church, her nun's habit hiding a tremor of fear." She stared at my birthmark, her eyes haunted. "The Order of the Crimson Cross isn't what you think," she whispered, her voice low, like the walls might hear. They venerate a false saint, a man denied by God. Dr. Marcus, a historian I met at a library, echoed her warning, his hands trembling as he showed me texts about a rogue crusader order. Sir Cedric was a hero, but his sins, wealth, lust damned him, he said, his gaze lingering on my birthmark. At a coffee shop later, he hesitated, touching his own wrist absently, as if seeing a ghost. Their concern felt like a secret they couldn't share, but I was too deep in my lies to question it. The gloom grew heavier, Durandal's hum louder, as if the sword called me to judgment. The visions grew worse, Sir Cedric's ghost haunting my dreams with relentless menace, his flaming sword slicing through a void where time unraveled. He spoke of destiny, his voice a chilling chant, promising power if I joined the order. "You are bound to the Crimson Cross," he snarled, his form a juggernaut of flame and steel, unstoppable as death itself. Awake, Laurie's wedding plans solidified, her family insisting Durandal had chosen me. "You'll be one of us," she said, her smile cold, her control absolute. I knew the ritual would bind me to their cause, to Sir Cedric's will, and I was trapped. I called Vito, my voice shaking in a payphone's dim glow. "They're gonna lock me in, man. This ain't just a marriage. It's some kind of ritual." Vito's response was ice. "I got a crew, Luigi. 5 guys, best I know. We'll end this, Laurie, her parents, the whole damn family." His words carried the weight of a man who'd buried bodies under Brooklyn's streets. But my gut twisted, knowing something darker waited. That night, under a moonless sky, Vito's hit squad moved, 5 men, hardened by blood and betrayal. Tony, the leader, was all muscle, barking orders like a drill sergeant. "We hit fast in and out," he growled, checking his gun. Sal, twitchy with a switchblade, muttered, "This place gives me the creeps, Tony." Frankie, quiet but deadly, nodded, his eyes scanning the dark. Vinny, cracking morbid jokes, said, "Hope these rich bastards bleed gold, huh?" Mikey, young and cocky, gripped his gun, grinning. "Let's make it quick, boys. I got a date later." They crept toward the mansion, shadows swallowing their steps. I waited in a diner, heart pounding, expecting gunfire. Instead, silence shattered by a scream not human, but otherworldly, a cosmic wail that froze my blood. I ran to the woods, the air oppressive with foreboding. Durandal hovered above the ground, its blade glowing crimson, alive with malice. It struck like lightning, impaling Tony through the chest, blood spraying like a fountain. His scream cut short as he crumpled. Sal lunged, cursing. "What's moving that thing?" The sword slashed his throat, his body collapsing in a gory heap, blood pooling like ink. The trees twisted, branches snapping like bones, wrapping around Vinny, crushing him as he screamed. "This ain't natural. Somebody help me." Frankie fired wildly, shouting, "Run now." Shadows pulsed, devouring his flesh, leaving a smoking husk, his gun clattering to the ground. Mikey froze, the ground warping into a mire, swallowing him as he clawed at the earth, crying, "I don't want to die like this." His voice faded, sunk into darkness. Then Sir Cedric materialized, a juggernaut of flame and steel, his flaming sword blazing with unholy wrath. His form bent reality, trees bled sap like blood, the air screamed, stars above twisted into voids. "None defy the Crimson Cross," he roared, his voice a chilling dirge, unstoppable as a predator in motion. The hitmen's screams faded, their bodies gone, consumed by an unnatural gloom. Laurie and her parents slept on unaware, but I stumbled back, trembling, knowing no mortal could challenge this order. The sword's hum lingered, a promise of more blood to come. The wedding day dawned, the ceremony in the local church, a blur of crimson and shadow. Laurie's vows were cold, her eyes gleaming with triumph, the guest chants invoking a name, Cedric, like a dark prayer. Durandal's presence lingered in my mind, its hum a heartbeat I couldn't escape. Back at the mansion, the honeymoon suite awaited, its opulence suffocating, the air thick with menace. In a private room, Laurie shed her dress, her naked form radiant in the candlelight. She moved to embrace me, her lips meeting mine, her touch both alluring and predatory. "You're mine now," she whispered, her voice a siren's call. I stood clothed, my heart racing, caught in her web. Then a burst of blood erupted from her chest, a crimson spray painting the air. She gasped, eyes wide, collapsing as Durandal's blade protruded from her chest, its point gleaming through her flesh. Sister Agnes stood behind her, the sword in her hands, her nun's habit stark against the blood. Dr. Marcus entered, his face pale but resolute. "It's over," he said, his voice raw. They turned to me, eyes filled with anguish. Luigi, we're your parents, Marcus said, trembling. We gave you up to save you from this order. Agnes clutched my wrist, tracing my birthmark, a crescent like theirs. You returned cosmically drawn, but we won't lose you again. The revelation shattered me, my lies crumbling under the weight of truth. They'd been lovers, torn apart by the Order's fanaticism, sacrificing me to keep me free. The room seemed to groan, shadows coiling, as if Durandal mourned Laurie's fall. The guests outside were silent, the Order's power broken. But Sir Cedric's presence lingered, his ghost a looming threat, enraged by Durandal's use. You've defiled the Crimson Cross, a voice echoed in my mind, a promise of vengeance. The sword's light dimmed, but its curse remained, a weight I couldn't shake. The mansion stood silent, its artifacts lifeless, the air oppressive with loss. I faced Sister Agnes and Dr. Marcus, my parents, their sacrifice reshaping my world. We left the order to protect you, Agnes said, her voice soft, eyes glistening. But fate brought you back. Marcus gripped my shoulder, his historian's calm masking pain. You're free now, but the Crimson Cross doesn't forget. Their love, buried under years of secrecy, was a light against the darkness I'd chased, shadows pulsing in the corners. At a nearby church I met Eli, a gay man shunned by the order but radiant with kindness. You don't need wealth to be whole, he said over coffee, his smile a rebuke to the order's judgment. Faith is about heart, not creeds. His compassion taught me what I'd missed. Love, not pride, was the core of it all. I vowed to live humbly, to judge no one, Eli's kindness a beacon against the order's hate. But Sir Cedric's ghost lingered, a gloom pulsing with menace. In a final vision he towered, a juggernaut of flame and steel, his flaming sword blazing with unholy wrath. The Crimson Cross endures, he snarled, his voice a chilling dirge, stars pulsing with menace above. I woke, heart racing, Durendal's curse a weight I couldn't shake. I left the Hamptons, but Sir Cedric's vow echoed, a juggernaut's promise of horrors to come.